We're here, Eric Huang, chef owner of Pecking House in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
Making your famous dirty fried rice, one of the best side dishes I've had. I remember getting this delivered to me in a small container and hoarding it, not letting my wife get any. So, you're gonna take us through your technique here, proper rice cooking technique, proper rice, drying technique for fried rice, cooking down a liver pancake of sorts, scraping it up to get these nice crumbly bits of delicious chicken liver, and then cooking that up with Trinity, right? Along with a little bit of magic dust with some MSG, some salt.
Oh yeah. And if you break as many chickens as we do at Pecking House, you have a plethora of livers left over. This is a great use of them. We're gonna do what's called a Cajun scrape, and then we're gonna show you how we do it all in a wok. It works just as well in a cast iron skillet, and there are some tricks to add that wok flavor that is so indicative of Chinese cuisine.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna get out of your hair and let you get to it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, we are cooking the rice. We are using a rice cooker. We have jasmine rice here. We're going to wash it. It is helpful to wash off the excess starch. Otherwise, it will clump together too intensely, and then it's just not great. So we're going to rinse it off here. Get a little mesh sieve here. And then we're going to rinse it around, rub it around in cold water. You don't want to break the rice up, so you want to be gentle enough that you're just mixing things up. So there's excess amylose on the outside of rice. Depending on the variety of rice, they all have different contents. Generally speaking, the shorter the grain of your rice, the stickier it is, the more amylopectin and amylose there is. If you do not wash the rice, they're going to all clump together and be a solid congealed mass, which is, even for sticky rice lovers, not enjoyable. The whole beauty of even sticky rice is that there are individual grains, but yet they are clinging to one another in a pleasantly sticky fashion. As you can see, the water is very milky, very cloudy. We're going to do this 2 more times until the water is mostly clear, and then we will be ready to cook it. Okay, that is our third rinse. As you can see, the water is still a little milky, but it doesn't need to be perfectly clear. You just need to wash most of the excess starch off. And then we're going to pop it in our rice cooker here with a measured amount of water. It's roughly a 1-to-1 ratio. There's obviously some water in here because we've rinsed it. You want a slightly less than 1-to-1 ratio for fried rice. It'll help it keep individual fluffy grains later. So, measured water. Cook. We are going to cool it down, put it on a sheet tray, and we're gonna separate this into a single layer, allow it to dry out. We're gonna cool it down at room temperature just until it stops steaming. It's cool enough to handle. We're gonna pop it in the refrigerator, not covered, to let it dry out overnight, and then tomorrow it'll be easy to fluff into individual grains. So we have our day-old rice. It is hardened a bit on the outside. That is ideal. That is what we want. So now we're going to separate it into individual grains. It's a lot of extra work, yes, but it is worthwhile to make great fried rice. I find the quickest way to do it is to rub it between your hands, like so. You just need to get them fluffy into individual grains, and then when you cook them in the wok, they'll be nice and separated and fluffy. So we have nice fluffed rice here, day-old, ready for the wok. We're gonna add seasonings, obviously, vegetables, and then adding fat will help coat each individual grain so that it'll eat with a little bit of fat, and it's nice and fluffy and light and seasoned, and it's a great vehicle for all sorts of things. Let's make some fried rice. So we're going to blend our chicken livers. The chicken livers they bring the dirty to dirty rice. Dirty rice it's a poor people's food, but it's super delicious, as most poor people's foods are. What we're going to do here is, obviously most people would usually discard the chicken liver. It has an irony, minerally taste, but we're going to rinse off some of the excess blood, just clean off any extra sinew or spleens or any off organs that we don't want. And then we're going to blend them into a puree. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. You just want a uniform texture here. It's going to look kind of like an unappetizing pancake batter. But when charred in a pan, especially a wok, normally this would be done in Cajun cooking on what is called a scrape. They would cook it on a big cast iron griddle, and it would char intensely on one side, and they would scrape it up and chop it with a spatula and fold it into rice. That's what would make dirty rice. That's kind of the same concept here, except we're doing it in a wok, which would make dirty fried rice. So chicken livers blended. We're scraping chicken livers. We've just pureed them. We are going to scrape them in a wok. So that means really high heat on a wok, cooking it in a thin layer, allowing it to caramelize intensely, and then we're gonna chop it all up, reserve it, and then we're gonna make our dirty fried rice. So let's kick the tires and light the fires. Forgot how badass these things are. So we're spreading into a single layer. We don't want to disturb it too much at this point. We want to caramelize one side of it as if you were making a very intensely browned liver pancake. So we're pretty close. Okay, we're almost there. Let it caramelize just a little bit more. Don't want to burn it. Don't want it to be too charred. There we go. Okay, that's how we scrape livers in the Cajun fashion in a wok. When you are cooking in a wok, respect the beast. It is very hot. You need to have everything ready because pretty much everything that's cooked in a wok cooks for less than like 1 minute. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. You want to minimize the amount of movements you're doing. You want to have everything prepared beforehand. I'm gonna combine my seasonings, MSG, salt, white pepper. I'm gonna get the wok super hot. You want everything to be getting dry heat. If it's steaming, you're not doing it right. You want to use the right amount of oil, make sure every bit is covered. You don't want any rice sticking anywhere. And then we are gonna move fast. So, our trinity needs to have some texture, seasonings, rice, bone livers, and we're gonna do it up. Catching a bit of that flame on the lip is what gives it that wok-ade flavor. Make sure you're breaking up any grains of clumps of rice. You want nice, fluffy textures. Every grain of rice coated individually in fat. We're gonna add the butter, and then we're gonna make sure we're tossing it over high heat to emulsify the butter into every single grain. Am I burning my towel? A little bit. Okay, that's all right. Butter's all melted in. The good fried rice should have a little bit of a shine. Lots of heat. You need to eat it right away when it's ripping hot. If your pan's nicely seasoned, there's nothing stuck there. Et voila, dirty fried rice in a wok.
Dig in?
Let's do it.
All right.
I think it's obviously has the meaty savoriness of dirty fried rice, but it has a little bit of that char flavor that is, you know, so representative of Chinese cuisine.
Absolutely. Fluffiness. Each grain is coated with fat, which is super key to me. Really delicious. And then that irony liver is right there, but it really complements well the sweetness and grassiness from the bell pepper and the celery. It's just a really, really nice side dish. Like,
cool.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Eric.
Yeah, do it.
I'm
Get
gonna
in
eat
there.
some more. You can find Eric's awesome recipe for dirty fried rice along with his fried chicken and hush puppies at ChefSteps.com. We've got tons of wok cooking content there as well. Everything that you need to make perfect rice. Tons of liver stuff too. We've got liver patés at the wazoo. Yeah, we're liver kings over here, but in a non-weird way. Go check out ChefSteps.com. I can do that again.
Subscribe to our channel and visit ChefSteps.com for more tips, recipes, guides, and tools to help you level up in the kitchen.